Discover how a janitor's daughter transformed a panic-filled meeting into an incredible $1 MILLI. Emily felt the weight of the world on her shoulders as she stood outside the grand conference hall. The polished glass doors loomed above her, reflecting the city's chaotic heartbeat. Inside, a sea of sharp suits and well-crafted smiles twinkled like stars in a night sky, yet she felt like a stranger on another planet. The thrill of being chosen to represent her school surged through her, but it was quickly engulfed by a wave of crippling anxiety. Her father, once her rock, lay weak in the hospital, fighting battles she feared she might not win herself. As the daughter of a hard-working janitor, she had grown up hearing tales of resilience. Each sleepless night juggling multiple jobs and study hours was her way of refusing to let go of her dreams. She pulled strength from the scarred neighborhood that had taught her to cultivate hope amid struggle. But in this hall, filled with stark privilege, doubt squeezed her heart tighter than an unwelcome embrace. Inside, the air buzzed with nervous chatter as her classmates fidgeted in their seats. She watched them, their faces pale and anxious, shoulders slumped under unseen weights. The tension crept up her spine. They, like her, bore the stories of their communities, yet fear had woven a net around their voices. Just as she felt the grip of despair tightening, a warmth surged within her, a fire kindled by the unwavering resolve of her father and neighbors. She took a deep breath, stepping forward to share her story. "Growing up, I learned that dreams don't come cheap," she began, her voice quaking yet resolute. The initial hum of murmurs faded as she painted the vibrant colors of her life's struggles: late nights scrubbing floors, community gatherings of laughter and love, and her strong father echoing heartfelt encouragement. She weaved her tale with threads of hope, defiant against the tide of privilege suffocating the room. But just as Emily began to feel the ripple of connection, a voice pierced through the vulnerability. A rival, dripping with contempt, leaned forward, smirking as they aimed a pointed comment right at her heart. "A janitor's daughter? What do you have to say that matters?" Gasps filled the air, and in that moment, the hall felt colder, the bright chandelier lights dimmed somehow. She felt all eyes shift, piercing her with skepticism and judgment. The impact of the attack was heavy, anger bubbled within her, embarrassment scorched her cheeks. The room seemed to shrink, the putrid stench of inequality tainting the air she breathed. This was more than an attack on her. It was an assault on her entire community, a reminder of the biases still lurking in society. Before she could drown in the chaos of humiliation, a powerful realization surged through her. She was not just Emily. She was a voice for so many who had been overlooked. The memories of her father's steadfast spirit echoed in her mind, grounding her resolve as she steadied her breath, preparing to unleash the storm brewing inside her. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Emily stood tall, the flickering flame of the American dream igniting around her. The collective breath of the room held a weighty silence, a canvas for her resolve. Would she let one voice define her worth? Or could her story shape a new narrative, one that expanded beyond mere success? She clenched her fists, ready to transform this meeting into a testament of dignity and resilience, a chance to uplift not just herself, but others who struggled to break the chains of their past. With her heart racing, she took her position, ready to show that courage could indeed summon a new reality. Would her voice be enough to echo through the walls of prejudice that still lingered today? Emily took a steadying breath. The tension in the room was tangible, thick enough to slice through. Faces turned toward her, filled with anticipation and perhaps a hint of skepticism. They were waiting for her to falter, to shrink back under the weight of disdain. But this moment wasn't just about her. It was about everyone who had ever been judged by where they came from. "My father," she began, her voice steadying, "doesn't he wear a suit? He wears a faded blue jumpsuit, stained from years of hard work. You see, he taught me that value isn't dictated by the clothes you wear or the amount of money in your bank account." She paused, allowing the words to settle. A small ripple of murmur spread through the crowd. Eyes that had once been cold began to flicker with interest. Emily pressed on, the fire within her igniting fiercely. "A janitor may clean floors, but he also cleans hearts. He nurtured us, raised us with love and unwavering belief in our potential. I won't deny that my upbringing has been tough, but it has forged who I am today, a fighter against all odds." As she spoke, she could see her classmates start to lean in. It was as though her words were bridging an invisible gap between them, breaking down barriers and suspicion. What if they really listened? Every story she shared painted a world they rarely saw. Neighbors banding together to help one another. Community meals filled with laughter despite financial struggles. Evenings spent in the light of shared dreams. She described her school, underfunded yet filled with dedicated teachers who saw the potential in every child. We aren't just statistics. We are voices yearning to be heard. But just as she was building momentum, the rival who had attacked her before spoke again. "You think your story is unique? There are countless faceless names out there. This is a competition, not a sob story showcase." Emily clenched her jaw, but refused to let the venom penetrate her words. "No, it's not just mine. It's ours," she shot back, channeling every ounce of her emotion. "Every name out there has a story, a struggle. We are the heartbeat of our cities, the lands of dreams where each person's life matters. A janitor's daughter doesn't just clean and scrub. She rebuilds narratives about who gets to succeed." The crowd was stirring now. Glances passed between classmates, some nodding, others furrowing their brows in thought. She felt the shift. Empathy was replacing contempt in the air. This was it. Her voice was a spark, lighting a flame within the walls of that opulent hall. The sank of emotion churned at her core. "We have the power to elevate and include, to diversify our definition of success," she implored, her heart pounding as she held eye contact with the rival. "You see a janitor's daughter. I see a community leader. You see a sob story. I see resilience and hope." Just then, an unexpected silence hovered as the reality of her words settled into the atmosphere. She had opened a door. The question was, who would walk through it with her? As applause broke out around her, Emily stepped back, breathless. She had shared her heart. She had shown her strength. Would it be enough to spark change? Just as she began to hope for more, the head judge stood up. "We have a surprise for you all." Her pulse raced. What did that mean? Emily leaned forward, her eyes wide, brimming with uncertainty. What was about to unfold could either propel her dreams or shatter them entirely. The crowd held its breath. Anticipation etched into their faces like a canvas waiting for color. Emily felt the weight of all those eager gazes, the hope and skepticism balancing precariously at the edge. The head judge, a formidable figure with an impressive reputation, eyed the audience before speaking. "Today, we're not just recognizing individual talents," he started, each word delivered with deliberate precision. "We're inviting you to collaborate on a project aimed at community transformation. One student will lead this initiative, and that student will be chosen based on their impactful stories shared today." A wave of murmurs cascaded through the audience, shifting the atmosphere from one of competition to something altogether different. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. Could she really be the one? Did her story resonate deeply enough? What would leading such a project even entail? "Emily!" The voice of her rival cut through the speculation, sharp as a knife. "You can't seriously think you're the best choice. This isn't just about your struggles. It's about results. Emily felt the heat rise in her cheeks. Self-doubt clawed at her throat. Had she made the right choice standing there, exposing her vulnerabilities? But then, she thought of her father. He had faced adversity without flinching, had taught her the true meaning of perseverance. You know, Emily said, surprising herself with a firmness in her voice, this isn't just about results. It's about connection. What good are results if we aren't uplifting our communities? The best leaders connect with their people. The crowd leaned closer, absorbing her words. Emma, a girl from her school always known for her sharp wit, spoke up then. We saw a side of you today that we've never seen before. It isn't just your story. It's how you make us feel part of it. Emily's breath hitched. Had she just earned the endorsement of her peers? The flicker of hope within her flared brighter. Now, interrupted the judge, bringing the crowd back to attention, we will vote on the project leader. I ask you all to consider not just the stories shared, but the vision that will inspire change within our local communities. You'll have 1 hour. A mix of excitement and anxiety bubbled within her. Instinctively, she glanced towards her rival, who now wore a face of seething discontent. What if the votes went in his favor? As the hour ticked down, Emily took a moment to gaze around the room. She spotted friendly faces, students she had shared classes with, laughter and silly moments. They weren't just classmates. They were potential allies in a journey she was beginning to envision. Determined, she approached her friends, one of whom, Jason, had a gift for graphic design. We can create something incredible together, she urged. Let us use our talents to show how we can uplift those around us. Imagine murals that tell our stories, workshops in the community for youth. His eyes lit up. I love that idea. We could even start a crowdfunding campaign. We have so many hidden talents. Feeling the rush of purpose flood her veins, Emily expanded on her vision. Inspiration spread, pulling in more classmates as they animatedly brainstormed ideas beyond mere whispers. The energy became electric. For the first time, their diverse backgrounds felt like strengths, not weaknesses. Finally, as the hour closed, she found herself back at center stage, ready to address her peers once more. We can be more than just stories, she said passionately, locking eyes with her rival. We can create a movement that shows everyone what we're capable of when we rise together. The audience erupted into applause. She felt a mixture of fear and exhilaration wash over her as the head judge began to count the votes. After a brief moment of silence, he looked up, his expression unreadable, and declared, "The votes are in." Emily held her breath. This could change everything. Would her dream of leading the transformation of their community become a reality? Or would she be overshadowed once again, the daughter of a janitor left to fade in the background? And then, the judge continued, and the student chosen to lead this initiative is the weight of the moment settled around her, her heart pounding as she leaned in closer, desperate to hear the outcome. And the student chosen to lead this initiative is Emily. A thunderous roar filled the room. The surge of applause was overwhelming. Emily's face flushed with disbelief and joy, the sensation like a warm blanket wrapping around her. She looked across the sea of faces, friends, classmates, and even familiar strangers who had cheered her on. Laughter, cheers, and claps echoed in her ears, nearly drowning out the voice of the judge. "Emily, can you come up to the stage?" He beckoned, but she felt momentarily frozen, stuck in a moment that felt surreal. With her heart racing, she stepped forward. Every footstep felt monumental. Her hands trembled slightly, and she took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. As she reached the front, the judge handed her a microphone, and for a moment, the cheers faded into a soft thrum, her focus narrowing on the judge's encouraging smile. "Thank you," she began, her voice breaking slightly. "I can't believe this is happening. The warmth of the crowd's energy rekindled her spirit, and she regained her composure. This isn't just my victory. It belongs to all of us. Each story shared here today carries the weight of our realities. We are the voices of our community, and together, we will transform it. Her eyes sparkled with conviction as she scanned the audience. They were listening, truly listening. Emily felt a familiar strength stirring within her, one that reminded her of her father. He had always believed in her ability to make a difference, and at that moment, she felt him beside her, cheering her on. As she spoke of her plans for the murals and workshops, she painted bright images with her words. She envisioned a community bursting with energy and interconnectedness, each mural a canvas of voices, each workshop a bridge for youth to explore their creative potentials. The crowd became more animated as excitement grew, nodding in agreement, whispering ideas to each other. Suddenly, Emily noticed her rival, still standing in the front row, arms crossed, scowling. He seemed small against the backdrop of the crowd's celebration, and for a flash, she felt a twinge of empathy. He had shown skills and talents. Why couldn't they unite instead of fight? Let us not forget, she added, glancing at him, that every one of us brings something valuable to this initiative. I invite you all, including my rival, to join this journey. Your insights could make our project stronger. Together, let us show that collaboration is the most powerful result we can achieve. The audience erupted in applause once more, clapping for her bravery, her openness to include everyone, turning competitors into collaborators. As the excitement settled, she felt the weight of what lay ahead. The challenges, the late nights, the hurdles of bringing her vision to life would be monumental. She couldn't help but wonder if she would actually pull it off, or if self-doubt would creep back in like an unwelcome shadow. The judge clapped Emily on the back, breaking her from her thoughts. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing how you lead this project. You'll have the support of the school and the community. Those words echoed in her heart. Support meant everything. Leaving the stage, she was flooded with classmates wanting to discuss ideas, suggestions spilling forth like an uncapped fountain. As the conversation swirled around her, the initial excitement also ignited a flicker of fear. What if she let everyone down? What if she couldn't live up to their hopes? Just then, her friend Jason approached, excitement dancing in his eyes. Emily, we need to set up a meeting to organize everything. And I have a few ideas for the campaign. It's going to be amazing. Emily smiled at his enthusiasm, a warm glow blooming in her chest. Yes, let us get started. But even as they spoke, her mind drifted back to her rival, who still wore an expression of disbelief. What kind of role would he play in this? Would he work against her, or could they genuinely come together for the good of the community? As the crowd began to disperse, Emily's heart swelled with hope, but she also felt an urgency. The real work was just beginning. And then, amidst the chatter and laughter, she asked herself a pressing question. Were they truly ready to unite and make the change she envisioned? Or would old rivalries and insecurities hold them back, threatening to unravel everything she hoped to build? Emily gathered her thoughts as the crowd began to fade. While excitement buzzed around her, the lingering uncertainty felt like a weight pressing on her chest. She thought of every mural she wanted to paint, every story waiting to be told, but she couldn't shake the feeling that it wouldn't be easy. Jason led the way to a small, quiet corner of the auditorium where they could set up their first planning session. His enthusiasm was contagious, but Emily's mind was still swirling with questions. Could this really work? Could they really pull this off together? Okay, so let us talk ideas. Jason balanced, his hands gesturing wildly as he spoke. We could have an art contest, a community gallery showcase, maybe even workshops on creativity. Emily nodded along, trying to absorb the energy he radiated. Those are great. Workshops would definitely get people involved. But we need to think about who we're reaching. We want to make sure everyone feels included. Just then, the door creaked open, and Emily's rival walked in. His face showed a mix of frustration and determination. The room fell silent for a moment, and she could feel Jason's apprehensiveness. "Hey," he said, trying to break the ice. "I didn't think you'd join us." "I came to see what you were planning," he replied coolly, arms crossed tightly. "I thought maybe we could talk about how to make this initiative actually work." Emily's heart raced. It seemed like a moment of choice had arrived. Here was the chance to turn a competitor into an ally. But how? "Great. We really want everyone involved," she said, forcing a smile. "This could be a collaborative project, and your ideas could help make it even stronger." He hesitated, eyes darting around as if looking for reassurance. "Right. I just don't want to see it fail." "I don't want that either," Emily admitted, a wave of understanding washing over her. "What do you think are the biggest obstacles?" His shoulders relaxed a fraction. "For one, people getting bored or not feeling appreciated. If we want them to engage, we need to keep it fresh." Emily could see glimpses of potential in their rivalry. "How about we brainstorm some fresh ideas together? Maybe a poll to see what people want?" Jason interjected, "Yes. We could create a digital platform for community input. A place where they can vote on themes or specific types of art they'd like to see." Slowly, their rival nodded, catching the spirit of teamwork. "I can build that. I know some people who could help." The tension in the room lowered a notch. It was remarkable, this shift from competitive energy to collaborative spirit. Emily felt a glow of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could build something incredible together. As they dove into planning, Emily saw all of her classmates surrounding them, starting to gather ideas and suggestions. Excitement buzzed in the air like electricity. Names floated through the room. Local artists, teachers, community leaders, each voice adding to the growing vision. But a thought nagged at the back of Emily's mind. Could they keep this momentum going? Was there enough determination among them to sustain it through the hardships? Finally, as they wrapped up their first meeting, Emily felt a mix of pride and anxiety. They had a foundation. They had a plan. But as everyone began to disperse, uncertainty crept in again. What if her rival's old habits would resurface? What if they hit a wall when things got tough? "Emily," Jason said, clapping her on the shoulder, "I really think we can do this. You're a natural leader." His words ignited a spark of courage, but the doubt still lingered. She smiled at him, even as her heart whispered uncertainty. Were they all truly ready to support each other? Or would the cracks begin to show when the pressure mounted? As she walked home, her thoughts tangled between excitement and anxiety. She knew the journey ahead would demand strength, commitment, and belief not just in a project, but in each other. And as she gazed at the fading sunset, she pondered a daunting question. What would happen when the tides of teamwork were tested by real challenges? Would they stand together or falter apart? The next morning, Emily woke up to the sound of rain tapping against her window. It was a peaceful background to her racing thoughts. She could hardly focus on breakfast as her mind replayed the discussions from the previous night. They had so many great ideas, but the fear of failure still loomed like a dark cloud. As she hurried to school, her pace quickened with each step. The rain wasn't helping her mood, but she knew they needed to hit the ground running. They were counting on her leadership. But could she truly lead? Would people really rally behind her vision? The school hallway buzzed with chatter, students animatedly sharing stories about what was to come. Emily noticed posters hanging around. The excitement was palpable. They had a chance to create something that people would remember long after it was done. In history class, Emily glanced at her rival, who sat 2 rows ahead. He seemed preoccupied, scribbling in his notebook. It struck her that maybe, despite their competition, They had the same goal to leave a mark. That realization filled her with resolve. After class, as the bell rang, she approached Jason. "I think we should meet early tomorrow to finalize things before we reach out to the community." "Absolutely. The sooner, the better," he agreed, his enthusiasm contagious. "Let us include our rival," she suggested. Jason raised an eyebrow but nodded in consent. Later in the day, as they gathered in the courtyard, Emily felt a surge of energy. They started brainstorming ideas for their digital platform. Ideas bounced around polls, art showcases, community involvement. But beneath the surface, Emily could sense a flickering of uncertainty. A soft voice in her head tugged at her. What if they couldn't keep it going? Just as she shared her fears with Jason, a familiar voice interrupted her thoughts. "What if I create a viral campaign?" Their rival proposed, his eyes bright with inspiration. "We could reach out beyond our school using social media, engaging local influencers." The idea hung there for a moment, bright and vibrant against the gray sky above. Emily's heart raced. "That's genius!" she exclaimed. "People love a good story. We need to highlight the artists and their journeys. It'll bring them in." As they fleshed out the concept, ideas flowed like the rain outside. They'd create short video snippets showcasing artists in their homes, capturing their essence and their connection to the community. Social media buzz and excitement grew, a network spreading like wildfire. As their meeting wrapped up, Emily felt something shift inside her. They weren't just a group fumbling around, they were becoming a cohesive team. The pressure began to lift, replaced by a sense of possibility. But just as they started to feel that momentum build, Emily spotted a familiar face across the courtyard. It was Sarah, her childhood friend. But something in her expression stopped Emily cold concern, maybe fear. Sarah hesitated, then strode purposefully toward them. "Emily, can we talk?" she said, her voice low. Curiosity and concern intertwined as Emily nodded, stepping aside with her. "What is wrong?" Before Sarah could answer, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd. Emily turned to see a group of students applauding, waving banners. Excitement and apprehension twisted inside her. "What is that about?" Emily asked, glancing back at Sarah, but her friend's focus was unwavering. "Emily, something big is going to happen if you don't act now." The warning hung in the air, thick and heavy, just like the rain, wrapping around her thoughts. What did Sarah know that could change everything? Would they triumph against the odds, or was trouble looming just around the corner? Emily felt the weight of uncertainty settle on her shoulders, mingling with the rain that drummed against the roof above. Sarah's serious tone ripped through the noise of the cheering crowd, and Emily's heart raced. What could possibly be so urgent? "Is it about the project?" Emily asked, searching Sarah's eyes for answers, but all she found was a flicker of hesitation. Did something happen? Sarah glanced over her shoulder, as if checking for eavesdroppers before leaning in closer. "It's about the competition, the art showcase. I overheard some students talking. They might not play fair." A ripple of dread swept through Emily. She thought about all the work they had put in so far, the late nights, the brainstorm sessions, the way her team was starting to gel. But the idea of sabotage, of losing it all before they even started, made her stomach twist. "Are you sure? What exactly did you hear?" Emily maintained her hold on hope, but doubt crept in like an unwelcome guest. Sarah took a breath, glancing again at the jubilant crowd. "There's talk of a secret campaign to undermine us. They want to make us look bad, cancel our promotion before it even kicks off. You need to act fast." Emily couldn't process it all at once. Their hard work and dreams seemed at risk of being washed away, just like the rain pouring down. "I'll talk to Jason. Maybe we can counteract it somehow. That's not enough," Sarah insisted. "This is serious. You have to rally everyone and bring the truth to light." If they spread false information, it could ruin your credibility. With each moment that passed, Emily's determination grew. You're right. We won't let fear take over. We're in this together, and I won't let anyone bring us down. We have to stand our ground. But before Sarah could respond, a loud voice called out from the crowd. Hey, everyone! Come check this out. Curiosity piqued, they both turned toward the commotion. Students were gathering around a large piece of poster board, vibrant and colorful. As they squeezed through the crowd, Emily's breath caught in her throat. There it was, an art display announcing the competition, and right beneath it were the names of the participants, her team right at the top. Next to their names were bold letters. Witness the revolution! Wow! Jason's face lit up. This is our moment! A surge of excitement flashed through Emily, yet the warning still echoed in her mind. It's beautiful, but we need to be careful. We can't let negativity take root. Sarah raised her voice over the noise. We have to announce our campaign now. We need everyone behind us. Post, share, spread the word. A plan began to form. With a competitive fire igniting within her, Emily waved her hands, gathering her friends. All right, team. Here's what we need to do. Let us get everyone involved. We'll create our own buzz and rally support before they can pull anything on us. Cheers erupted, and excitement surged through her friends. They joined hands, a team forged in shared passion and purpose. The storm outside seemed less fierce now, a mere backdrop to their gathering energy. But just as they started rallying their peers, Sarah suddenly pulled back, her expression slipping into something darker. Emily, what if it's too late? That question sent another wave of panic racing through Emily. What if they couldn't mobilize everyone in time? What if their rivals' plans were already in motion? With the shadows of doubt creeping back, she squeezed Sarah's hand. We have to believe in ourselves. We're stronger together. But with the stakes rising, could they really outsmart the opposition and protect their vision? Emily felt a chill as uncertainty wrapped around her once more. Time was running out, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger was at play, something that could change everything in ways she hadn't even imagined. What hidden agenda were they facing? Would their dreams be realized or shattered before they even took flight? The air buzzed with a mixture of anticipation and tension as Emily rallied her friends. They stood, a determined huddle against the storm of adrenaline and uncertainty sweeping through the crowd. The vibrant art display, from their dreams only moments before, now felt like a target painted on their backs. Listen up, Emily shouted, cutting through the noise. We can't just wait for the competition to throw dirt at us. We need to be proactive. We have to show everyone what we can do. Excitement flared, eyes shining as her friends nodded. Jason was already jotting down ideas, his hands moving swiftly. We could create an online campaign. Share our processes, our inspirations. Show how we're doing this together. Exactly. And we should highlight our story, Emily added, her heart racing with renewed hope. Every late night, every challenge we overcame, it's not just art. It's our journey. As they gathered around to brainstorm, the rhythm of their hearts synced with the pounding rain outside. But just then, a familiar voice broke through their energy. Hey, what is all this commotion? It was Nick, the school's self-appointed king of cynicism. He smirked as he approached, flanked by a couple of his friends. You really think anyone cares about your sob story? Emily felt a hot flush creep up her cheeks. Nick always had this knack for draining the light from the brightest ideas. But she steadied herself, recalling Sarah's words of warning. We care. And that's what matters, she shot back, her voice steadier than before. We're creating something meaningful, while you're just trying to tear people down. Nick raised an eyebrow, feigning innocence. Tear you down? Or just expose the truth? Let us face it, Em, you're all in way over your heads. The showcase? I guarantee you'll crash and burn. Sarah stepped up beside Emily, her expression fierce. You know what, Nick? Maybe folks like you are the reason we need to make our voices louder. We're not afraid of you. Not anymore. The crowd started to shift, a few whispers exchanged, heads nodding in agreement. Perhaps it was the rain pounding outside, or maybe it was the resolve bubbling up in Emily's chest. But things felt different. Let us show him what we're made of, Jason called out, and cheers erupted, reverberating against the rain. But in the midst of this growing momentum, Emily caught a flicker of movement out of the corner of her eye. A girl about her age stood off to the side, observing with wide eyes. She looked familiar. A fleeting thought hovered, then landed as Emily recognized her. It was Mia, the janitor's daughter, usually quiet, her brilliance often overlooked. Me? Emily shouted, waving her over. The other students turned, murmurs passing as Mia hesitated. There was something about her that stirred a feeling of connection within Emily. Mia finally stepped forward, her hands clasped nervously. I heard what happened, she stammered, glancing at Nick and his crowd. I think I can help. Emily's heart raced again, this time with curiosity. She had seen Mia sketching in the art room. Her talent was undeniable. How? Let me show you. Mia took a deep breath, her confidence building. I've been working on something. A project that could highlight our message. But I need a team to help me finish it. The excitement in the air shifted again, the weight of worry lifting slightly at her suggestion. Emily exchanged glances with her friends, a spark igniting in each of them. Was this what they needed? Could Mia's vision bring them over the tipping point? As the rain poured down louder, drowning out the lingering doubts, Emily felt a glimmer of hope. Absolutely. Let us do this together. But as the crowd began to buzz with ideas and energy, Nick's lingering presence still felt like a watchful shadow. How far would he go to undermine their efforts? Emily's resolve tightened once more, as a sense of urgency loomed in the back of her mind. What would it take for them to truly break through the barriers? And could they trust their new ally to safeguard their vision from the lurking threat? As plans began to unfold, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something extraordinary or disaster. The race was on, but who would emerge victorious when the dust settled? As the storm raged outside, Emily's heart raced with fervor. Everyone stood in a loose circle, the rain drumming on the roof mimicking the pulse of their collective excitement. Mia's proposal had set off a spark, igniting the creative flames in each of them. Emily watched as her friends leaned in closer, their faces alight with inspiration. What do you have in mind, Mia? Jason asked, enthusiasm coloring his voice. His eyes shone with anticipation, encouraging Mia to step into the light. With a flicker of hesitation, Mia pulled a wrinkled sketchbook from her bag. I've been working on a mural, she said, her voice shaking slightly. I wanted to represent unity, like the different paths we all take but eventually come together as one. Each of us can add our own individual touches, and then it'll all be combined. It shows our stories, and how we support each other. The room fell silent as her words sank in. Emily felt a shiver of understanding ripple through her, like the fizzling spark of electricity that could power a whole city. I love it, Emily exclaimed. It's not just about our individual pieces. It's about the community we create. We could paint it live during the showcase, let everyone see the progress. Mia smiled, her confidence growing with every word. And we can share it online as we go along. I could set up a live stream. We could upload pictures, tell the stories behind each piece. That's brilliant, Jason added. The group began to buzz with ideas, each contributing suggestions that built on Mia's framework. The tension that had hung in the air moments before was gone, replaced with a sense of purpose that felt almost tangible. Emily could feel her worries fading. With Mia's vision, they could make their presence felt, something vibrant against the mountains of doubt and disdain. But as laughter rang out, a quick reminder of Nick's scorn pierced through the joy. "Hey, can we actually pull this off?" Sarah broke in, her brow furrowed. "What if we can't get it done in time? What if there are still people like Nick trying to tear us down?" Emily paused, her heart grappling with the creeping uncertainty. "We will," she said finally, gripping Sarah's shoulder. "If we all work together, we can achieve anything. We just have to stay focused and support one another." Mia's eyes sparkled as she nodded. "Exactly. We put our hearts into this. We can create something beautiful." That spirit fueled their determination. They spent the next hour divvying up tasks, trading ideas, and brainstorming logistical details. The mural would not only tell their story, but also challenge those who doubted them. As the planning session wrapped up and excitement buzzed like electricity, Emily glanced outside. The storm had calmed, leaving trails of water trickling down the windows, giving a new clarity to the world outside. For the first time, she felt the weight on her heart give way, replaced by a breath of fresh air. But just then, the door swung open, and Nick stepped in, his smirk cutting through the warmth of their gathered spirits. He surveyed the scene, eyes narrowing. "What? Planning your failure already? You think this will really change anyone's mind?" In an instant, the room fell silent again. Everyone's resolve seemed to waver, like the flickering lights of a dying bulb. Emily felt her breath quicken, her thoughts racing. This was the real test. Would they hold on to their mission, or would Nick's taunts eclipse their hard-won success? As she looked at her friends, worry and determination danced across their faces. They had come too far to let negativity overshadow their passion. They needed to rise together, to prove Nick wrong no matter the cost. "Come on, guys, we've got work to do," Emily said, a newfound fire igniting within. "Let us show everyone what we can create." But as Nick's piercing gaze shifted back to her, an unsettling thought lingered. Was he about to take action that would change everything they were building? Emily stood at the center of the thrumming energy of her collective mission, feeling the pulse of community echoing around her. The jabs from Nick had rattled her, but deep down, she knew the strength of the team surrounding her outweighed any negativity piercing through the efforts they had begun to build. "Let us focus on our mural," Jason declared, clenching his fists in excitement. The idea of a collective piece of art that would represent not just their stories, but the unity of their varied backgrounds kindled the appetite for change among them. Mia's vision became the North Star guiding their project, and as they shared ideas, Emily could feel a flicker of hope igniting. They divided their roles. Mia would lead the design, Jason would handle digital outreach, and Emily would orchestrate the community engagement. Each piece of the puzzle fit seamlessly into place. As the days slipped by, the buzz transformed into action. They started painting the mural live during school hours, each stroke a testament to resilience. The school painted alongside them, and the rich colors began to tell tales of joy, struggle, and ambition. Laughter echoed, voices rose. This was a revival of community spirit, and every brush stroke seemed to wipe away the doubts that threatened to cling to their dreams. Emily found herself caught up in the rhythm of creation, her heart singing as she watched classmates from different backgrounds unite to add their art and stories. Moments of suspense mingled with triumph, and through it all, the dynamic shift among her peers was tangible. Walls built by prejudice and doubt crumbled, and every whisper of negativity faded into a distant echo. Amid the joyous chaos of creation, they launched the online campaign, showcasing their daily progress. Each post gathered momentum, drawing attention from local families and even community leaders. The stories shared resonated deep, promoting hope and connection. But just as momentum soared, the specter of Nick loomed again. Rumors began to swirl, dissecting their project and trying to paint it as nothing more than a glorified art showcase. His poison seeped in through social media, But Emily refused to let it fester. "Let us face this head-on," Emily declared one evening as the team regrouped. "We can't let his negativity silence our movement. We are more than our individual stories. We are a wave of transformation." With her heart leading, Emily decided to host an open community forum. They would invite everyone to see the mural, hear the stories behind it, and celebrate their resilience through art. Each name, each face represented a narrative that had to be told. On the day of the unveiling, tension hung like fog. The crowd gathered, excitement and anticipation buzzing through the air, threads of Emily's determination woven tight around her heart. As she stood before them, the sea of faces flickered with recognition. They were the heartbeat of the community she called home. She began speaking, her voice steady as she unveiled not just a mural, but a tapestry that encapsulated dreams against despair. "This mural is born from our stories," she began, gesturing toward the vibrant work of art behind her. "Each shade expresses hope. Each brush stroke echoes our voices, reminding us that together, we can rise above negativity." Applause swelled like a wave crashing against the shore, drowning out the remnants of doubt. The community rallied around her, embracing the power of solidarity. Emily saw her father's face flicker in her mind, the pride shining in his eyes, the legacy of resilience coursing through every ounce of energy in the room. And then, in a moment that felt monumental, Nick stepped forward, a quiet sincerity replacing the cynicism etched against his brow. "I see what you're building here," he stammered, uncertainty tracing his words. "I see its value." Emily took a breath, stepping forward. "That's the beauty of community, Nick. It embraces everyone, especially those who hold doubt. You can be part of this too." For the first time, she saw colleagues who were once adversaries nodding, slowly realizing that collaboration and understanding can forge a stronger path forward. The air shimmered with possibility. As the day closed, Emily felt the pulse of warmth from those around her. She raised her paint-smeared hands, and together they joined in, elevating voices in joyful unison. They had transformed the narrative, turning pain into beauty. And as the stars began to twinkle against the clear night sky, Emily stood beneath them, feeling the weight of her past release, replaced by dreams anew. This journey had dissolved her fears. Instead, it had taught her to weave possibility into every corner of her life. And as she vowed to push further for her community, she knew the tide of unity had begun, and there was no holding back the wave of change now. If this story moved you, now is the moment to subscribe immediately to the channel. You need to hit that bell to not miss the next exclusive stories that inspire transformation. Please, let's keep this energy high. Leave a like now to feed our algorithm. Your support truly matters. And don't forget to comment below your reactions and feelings about this ending. Your voice counts. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to witness this incredible transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Let us spread the wave of change together.